Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Top 10 Songs. Today, we're going to take a look at our 10 favorite songs from Opeth, Swedish progressive metal juggernauts, with my special guest co-host from Rock Fantasy New York in Middletown,
Opeth.
Steve Keeler. There we go.
On, see?
Nice.
You got yours on too.
I got mine on too. I like your shirt better though. That's a cool album cover. I always kind of.
This is the one I got at the. Hey, let's hope it's not the last metal show I ever attended.
Let's hope not.
At the weirdest venue I've ever been to a metal show at, the Apollo Theater.
How was that though? It was a good show. I wanted to go. I couldn't make it.
It was crazy. I was like That was the same day the last time I was in Manhattan. I was at Toy Fair during the day.
Yep.
And we're way off subject now, but I met with, some of my vendors like Super 7 and Trick or Treat Studios and whatnot and Stern Pinball. And then I went and bought some stuff for the smoke shop at the store, which I buy in New York City, some of it. And then I drove up to the Apollo Theater and I went to the show. It was such a historic place to see a show. I thought of when you walk in there, and I was leaning on the stage for the whole Opeth set because there was absolutely zero security up front, and I had like a second row seat I bought on StubHub, but I thought it was like midway in, and I just said, well, screw it, there's nobody blocking anybody, let me go up, and I was leaning on the stage for the whole set.
That's pretty cool.
But they ran out of beer during Graveyard set. So I said, well, are you going to get more? And they're like, no. So I don't drink hard liquor ever. And I had like a vodka and orange juice just to have something because I wanted to have a little something to take the edge off and enjoy the show. So it was a weird venue, but
I thought it was strange where they chose that place, but everybody I know who went said it was great.
It was Peter's idea, I think. We want to play the Apollo Theater. They played Radio City, and then they were playing a lot of weird venues on that tour if you looked around.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Anyway, you know how it goes, guys. We're going to, Steve and I are going to run down our 10 favorite songs. We're going to ping pong back and forth. We're going to start at number 10, work our way to number 1, and then we'll throw some honorable mentions. Steve and I both talked about how agonizing it was to put together this list, and I think we both agree that we more listen to Opeth as an album band and not necessarily as a song band. So I found now I normally do these. I go through each album and I pick out my favorite songs, but every album is full of favorite songs, right? So it was really
it is, right?
So I'll let Steve start it off with his number 10
first, right?
Yeah, go first.
Off of Ghost Reveries. Look, my employee was so nice to actually bring me some props home this week. It's like, what do you need from the store? I have a girl that goes up there because I've been completely locked in the house due to my wife's health issues. I've been in the house for almost 3 weeks now. She picked me up some Opeth records from my collection, so now I can listen to them home. So I get Ghost Reveries. My number 10 song is going to be The Grand Conjuration.
Great song. Absolutely great song. Also one of my favorites from that album. It's a really good choice.
This is a great album.
It is. It totally is. That for a long time was my favorite Opeth album.
Really?
Yeah. This is one of those bands where I think my favorite albums by them shift all the time. And they've released a lot of great ones since then. They've got so many good albums. So that's a great choice. I'm going to go with my number 10. Might be a lot higher for some people. It might be an obvious choice for some people, but I'm going to go from My Arms, Your Hearse. I'm going to go with Demon of the Fall at number 10.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
I thought for sure that was going to be one of your favorites. I'm like, Steve's going to get on my case for having it so low in my order here. But
you know what? Somehow I overlooked that whole album doing this. So
did you?
Shame on me.
Shame
but
on
I mean,
you.
we've been under a tiny bit of outside stress this week.
Yeah.
And it was like, and I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to do this or not, but you have to do something other than just sitting here and watching the news and watching all this, whatever outside. Some days I don't even watch the news at all. I just stay in my bubble here at the Rock Fantasy.
You're better. You're better off. Yep.
Like, what can you? Oh my God! And then you look on social media, and it gets worse on there. But go ahead. What's yours? I'm up to number 9 now, right?
Yep.
This is off the Morning Rise album. It is a very heavy, long epic song called "The Black Rose Immortal."
Great one. I think that
And
whole album is full of really long and heavy songs. I mean, there's nothing short on that album,
they were
right?
almost like black metal style a
Yeah.
little bit with that. Yeah.
That album is very black metalish. I think their first two albums actually are quite a bit. You notice like his vocal style changes quite a bit from the Morning Rise album to the My Arms Your Hearse album. I listened to
Yes.
both of them back to back this morning. I was like, wow, Michael sounds very different from that album to that album. And
I've
you're
been
right.
listening to Opeth all week because of your homework assignment. I think we set this up last Sunday, and here we are the following Saturday.
Yep.
And Linda's like, "How much Opeth are you listening to this week?" Because she's not really into them, my wife. And I'm like, I gotta learn. I gotta figure out the top 10 songs. She goes, "Well, when you did like Aerosmith or you did like Overkill, you did that in like maybe 2 hours." I'm like, "Well, this is way more intense than that."
Yeah.
Each song's like 10 or 12 minutes long too.
I know 80% of the catalog is like 10, 15 minutes long. It's great. It's crazy. That's crazy.
All
right. So
all week, that's been listening to Opeth somehow.
yeah, well, it's, there's so many albums, first of all,
Yeah.
and their music is
I
just so
forgot about
complex.
one.
Yeah.
How did I forget that one? Yeah.
So my number 9, I'm going to go to the Mellow Damnation album. Probably my favorite, like really mellow melodic song by them. It's In My Time of Need, which I think is just absolutely beautiful. It's got great vocal harmony. It's got Mellotron. It's just a really, really cool, different type of
stuff. It's on this record.
That's right. That's right. So that's my number 9. What do you got for number 8, Steve?
Number 8. I really love this song. It's also off Ghost Reveries. It's The Baying of the Hounds.
Absolutely. Yeah. That song is like Deep Purple on steroids, right?
Yes.
It's got that Hammond organ in the beginning. It's crunchy.
Yeah. So good.
That's a great choice.
Putting that Deep Purple aspect in there. There's definitely some Deep Purple aspect to some of these songs.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Yeah. That's one of the things I always loved about them so much.
I'm sure Michael likes Deep Purple too.
Oh, yeah. He loves all those classic 70s bands.
Oh, yeah.
So my number 8 is going to come from the Watershed album. It's Heir Apparent.
That's another good one. I don't have that on my list, but it should be.
Yeah, good. It's another great album too. I think like Ghost Reveries and Watershed are very similar albums for me, and I think I was completely. I mean, that was at a point in time where I think Opeth was probably my favorite band at that time.
For some reason, I don't have Watershed. I don't listen to Watershed much.
No,
when
you
I go
should.
Into Opeth, I listen to Still Life and Blackwater Park and Deliverance and Ghost Reveries the most of anything with this catalog.
Gotcha.
Like I said, I never listen to. I mean, I listen to records again, so I'm listening to half sides. Or if I put Opeth on, I'm putting the album on. I'm listening to it. It's never like, and of course, it's in shuffle at Rock Fantasy when we do our shuffles there. Where it's in all the playlists, so you do hear songs that way. But they're an album band to me.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you.
So,
all right, you're number 7.
Harvest, Blackwater Park.
Oof, yeah. There's not a bad song on that album. Well, wait, let me rephrase it. There's not a bad song in their catalog, but that album is like
their catalog, woohoo!
Right? But I know, right? But Blackwater Park, I think, is from top to bottom, start to finish, is pretty stellar. Kind of hard to beat that album, right?
I mean, I would listen to that album all the time. Whenever I had to go, Opeth is a band that I go to. It might sound weird to some. It's a band that I go to. Like if I go to the dentist and have work done there, I always have Opeth on. It's like something that really mellows me out. And like, when I go to the dentist or I'm going to the doctor's office, I got like Opeth in the background. It soothes my soul.
There you go. Not that all their music is soothing, but almost all of their songs have like heavy parts and melodic and tranquil parts.
Yeah, like spacey enough to where it just spaces you out enough.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. That's a good one. What are we? That's number 7. All right, my number 7 from Ghost Reveries, Ghost of Perdition.
Yeah, sorry, I got interrupted by a text message. Go ahead.
No problem. Ghost of Perdition, Ghost Reveries, my number 7. Great tune.
Number 7, okay. Yep. That's a great song.
Yep.
Sorry, that's on my list also.
Ghost of Perdition.
So we're up to number 6 with me. Someone's delivering some stuff at my store, so I have to text them back quickly, so bear with me.
You got it. No problem.
This is sort of like we're in The Walking Dead sort of here, where people are like, hey, I got some bread or some cake for you. I'm going to deliver it outside. I'm like, all right, dude, drop it at the door. I'll leave you the money outside, and then I sneak out with my gloves on in a little while. The surreal world we're living in.
I
All right,
know.
so we're up to number 6 for me, you said?
Yep. Yep.
Wreath. Not your Christmas wreath, but Wreath off of Deliverance.
Yeah. That's another great one. Great kickoff track to that album.
Oh, I mean, we could do the top 100, and they're all good.
Yeah, I know. That's a very heavy album too. I dig it. Good album. My number 6, the title track to Blackwater Park.
Okay. Yeah. Could be number
Epic.
1.
Could be number 1, right? There's a couple. Yeah, there's a couple like real gems from that album for me, but that's definitely one of them. It's epic. Great way to kind of get to the back end of that album. It's a classic song, and again, it's got all the different Opeth flavors on it, right? The light and the shade, the heavy and the mellow. It's a little bit of everything. So
it's epic.
Yeah,
every hit song by them is epic, though.
Absolutely,
almost everything. I mean, even the proggy stuff gets pretty epic.
Yep.
I'm up to number 5.
Yep, the top 5.
Deliverance, from Deliverance.
Yeah.
2 Deliverance album titles in a row. Another one album I listen to all the time is Deliverance.
Yep.
I forget about that one once in a while, just because I just go to the same ones. I like Still Life. Still Life, I don't have enough on my top 10, but I listen to Still Life a lot.
It's a great album.
I forgot to put The More on my list.
The More is killer.
God, it was number 3, and it got crossed out yesterday.
Put something else in its place.
Something took it over. All right, you're number 5.
My number 5, I'm staying on Blackwater Park for the Drapery Falls.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's again, and most of their albums have very good first songs. Like they're one of those bands that every album has got a kickoff song that just absolutely kicks ass. I mean, I've already mentioned a bunch of them. You did as well. I mean, they just were so good at giving you like going for the throat right from the beginning.
Oh yeah, there's so many songs that, not to say a bad thing, that are quite similar. That's why it was so hard to pick this up, because I'm like, all right, if we're doing top 10 albums, yeah, it's easy, but I don't know if that's easy, but just picking songs off of it, like there's so many that's kind of, you're so used to listening to an album that just flow into the next song.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. All right, number 4, what do you got?
The Ghost of Perdition from Ghost Reveries.
Yep, love it. That was my number 7. Love it. All right, my number 4, we're going to go to your beloved Still Life album, For Godhead's Lament.
Yes. That's a great song.
Yeah. And that's
right? Something like that.
Yep. That's a great album, too. I think for me, I think Still Life is just about as good as Blackwater Park. They're like, for me, kind of very similar. Yeah, they're very similar. Melinda. Oh, Face of Melinda's great. That's great. Moonlapse Vertigo. Oh, so many great songs from that album.
Daisy, you like that song too? I said Daisy said yes. She likes you like Still. What do you like better, Still Life, or do you like the heavier stuff better? Maybe.
I think she's a Deliverance girl. I get it.
Maybe Orchid. I gave up on them after the first album.
She's one of those old school fans. I get it. All right, cool. All right, what are we at? Number 3, right? Yeah, number 3.
Number 3 for me is the God. Is it number 3 for me? Godhead's Lament from.
So my number 4 is your number 3. Yeah, it's a great choice.
You don't like that one?
Not a fan.
She wants to play rough right now. She's been bored for the afternoon. She's trying to go down. All right. There's no toy or anything up there? There's got to be a toy. We need a toy. All right, go ahead.
My number 3 is the title track to Deliverance, which for me has probably the most intense final 5 minutes of any song in the Opeth catalog. Love it. So good. So good.
All right. Sorry.
The top 2.
Daisy's interrupting her show.
Yeah, she's taking over.
The hell is that noise outside? Sounded like a chainsaw. I better go look outside maybe. Very weird sounds go on outside the house during these days. At nighttime, I hear packs of like ATVs going up and down way beyond the avenue, which is odd. The night before last, we heard Gunshots, which wasn't real affirming. But go ahead.
That's
Number
not
2,
good.
The Leper Affinity off of Blackwater Park.
Oh, classic song. Classic song from a classic album. My number 2 is going to surprise you. The title track to Sorceress.
Oh, that sounds great.
Isn't it? That song is so heavy. It's so different from anything they ever did.
Brian, I know. He's dropping something off out there. All right. I'm getting a delivery dropped off outside.
All righty. What's your number 1, Steve? And then we'll let you go.
Number 1, Blackwater Park.
Title track.
From Blackwater Park.
Great choice.
That's my number 1 song.
Great choice.
But,
My number 1.
You can flip it anytime you want.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't have to leave. The delivery's outside. I don't have to leave yet, so take it down.
Okay. My number 1 was your number 2, I believe. The Leper Affinity from Blackwater Park. Classic song. But you were right. You could choose any song off that album for the top 10. It's just such a good album. You got any honorable mentions you want to throw out there? I think we mentioned a bunch. Yep.
I could say the whole Still Life album could be number 1.
Yep.
Almost. I could say the whole Blackwater Park could be number 1. if you include it as one song.
Yeah, because we didn't even mention Dirge for November, right? Or The Funeral Portrait. No. And then from Still Life, how about Serenity, Pain, and Death? What a great song that is.
Yeah, I've got a list of a few here from Heir Apparent from Watershed. The Lotus Eater from Watershed.
It's a great song.
Devil's Orchard from Heritage.
Yep. That's that almost made my top 10. I love the Devil's Orchard.
This one you're going to dig, I think, even though it's a weird one. Goblin from Pale Communion.
Yes. And that's inspired by the German band Goblin. They totally hit on their sound. That's a great song. Great song. How about Strange Brew from Sorceress?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cusp of Eternity from Pale Communion.
Cusp of Eternity is great. Yep.
Heart and Hand from the latest.
I love that song. Yep. Dignity's great, too, from the new one.
To Bid You Farewell from Morning Rise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Face of Melinda from Still Life. The Moor from Still Life. Sorceress, self-titled.
Yep.
And, that about wraps up my Opeth. But, boy, you still want to listen to Opeth, even though I've been listening to them all this week.
I know.
They're a comfort band for me, though.
I agree with you.
Like I explained earlier, it's something I can listen to and relax and, just sleep or almost meditate with their music. They're very much in my vein with Catatonia. Catatonia is much like that in my mind also.
Yep. I agree with you. A great band. For me, they've always, because they touch on, the death metal, which we all love, and they touch on a lot of, prog and psychedelic and folk stuff. They throw it all into their music. That's one of the reasons why, for me, Opeth just always was a favorite band, because they just kind of do a lot of all these things that just, they give me the warm and fuzzy. So even going way back to the early stuff, I mean, like from the first album, Miss She Was Standing, Under the Weeping Moon, it's great stuff too. April Ethereal, From My Arms Your Hearse. So it's got some really good stuff here. So so there we have it. There's our top songs, top 10 songs for Opeth.
Yeah, finally. That's one I figured we would have done a long time.
I know, right?
Through the cracks. Yep, we need to do a Catatonia one.
We could probably do that.
I don't know who else would hop in. Maybe we could get Chris or somebody else on board with us for that. I might even be able to get one of the local metal guys to come on and do something with us, Mike Score from Lot War, if he'd like sometime. I could ask him. I'm sure he's just sitting home with the rest of us right now.
Yeah, exactly.
He's such a big music fan, and he's not just into hardcore because he's in Lot War either. He likes a lot of metal. I think he'd probably enjoy it. I'll reach out to him this week if you'd like.
Sounds
We're
good.
going to be working on Halloween for next week, right?
What's that?
I think that's what you were talking about.
Halloween
for next week, you think?
You got Halloween for next week.
Give me some more homework. I'm happy to do whatever. So
you got it. Sounds good. All right, Steve, you want to talk a little bit about what's going on with Rock Fantasy Online that folks will be looking forward to?
So Rock Fantasy, like everything else in the world, shut down. We stayed open about a week after like the NBA and the NHL canceled and everything. And I had the girls work, and my wife has a lot of health issues, so to protect her, I've been home. I haven't been out hardly at all, other than to walk the dog and walk around the block. I had to make a deposit at the bank over a week ago. Other than that, I mean, it's like Groundhog Day, Twilight Zone, where every day is, what day is it? Is it Monday? Is it Tuesday? It's Saturday today, I guess, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, we actually worked with Record Store Day, which got canceled. So everybody knows. If you don't know, Record Store Day is now in July this year, I believe. And Record Store Day sent me out a message saying that there was a certain company that works with my One Stop where we buy about 80% of all our records, you know, be it metal or classic rock or hip hop or whatever we sell at Rock Fantasy. And we will have that up online at rockfantasy.com. So keep checking with us. We also are doing like gift certificates now. If you want to PayPal us or anything for that, just go to rockfantasy.com or check us out on Instagram or social media at our Facebook page. That'll fill you in on all that. But we will be able to buy music and have it delivered directly to you. I don't even have to ship it from Rock Fantasy until we get back and open again, which hopefully in a couple of weeks we can get at least one of my employees in there. I don't know when I'll be back at the moment. Who knows how long this goes on, this mess we're in. But and we'll be able to sell you anything like the New Testament, which is a great album. I've been listening to it on Spotify on my headphones yesterday on my treadmill here. And this new Lucifer, there's a lot of new metal albums. And some of the albums actually got postponed, like the new Enslaved's not coming out till the fall now, I read.
Yep. I heard the new Deep Purple's getting pushed back till September now.
I heard a lot. Some of the releases are getting pushed back, but hey, if you want to support Rock Fantasy, support some music, and you want to buy some stuff, we'll be up online. I'm hoping within a couple weeks. I'm sure by the end of April. It's April 4th as we're taping this now. And it's kind of bright in my day because I've got zero money coming in right now. And it, you know, if it's like snow days here, but how long is it going to snow for, you know?
Yeah.
Where you're just home and nothing coming in. Some people are lucky enough to have jobs and work from home, which is God bless them, you know. And I feel so bad for some of my good friends that actually work in Orange Regional. They're in the front lines right now, or even people that are working at ShopRite or wherever, you know. It's just crazy, you know. So let's hope we all get through this and everything gets back to normal, because when we do, I don't want to sound like some of these other leaders, but it's going to be one hell of a party. When we all can realize, hey, we can go out and sit in a bar and have a beer again and a burger or something, you know? What is it? I mean, what are you doing at home right now? Are you watching a lot of movies, Pete? Listening to a lot of music? Or?
I've been so busy. I've been, you know, I work in my day job Monday through Friday, and I've been really busy. And I've been all weekend long. I've been doing YouTube videos. So it's like I've been working 7 days a week nonstop. So it's
I've been catching up on a lot of old like cartoons.
Nothing wrong with that.
Crazy. Old superhero cartoons, like animated Superman I've been watching. Stuff I watched 20 years ago, but I'll watch it over. Hey, I got that Disney Channel now, and you can watch like the Silver Surfer ones. I broke out my Spider-Man 67 box set.
Oh, I have that too. I watched those recently. You know what I got recently? I picked up the old Thor cartoon from 1966.
That's the old one that slides across.
Yeah, with all the Jack Kirby artwork. Yeah,
posters up here. There's my Medusa poster.
Oh, very cool.
I'm in the my little blacklight room. We have an old Fantastic Four one that's kind of covered up here.
Oh, nice. Yep.
And I'll flip you around, and you can see my Surfer and my Hulk one, which are Third Eyes.
Oh, very cool.
This is my Superman Fortress of Solitude right here. So this is where I go. My wife doesn't come out. I do a little meditating out here. Been doing my, you know, whatever else, hanging out here. We do a lot of Zoom. Rock Fantasy Pinball Club still does meets on Thursday nights, but we meet on Zoom now. We all hang out and we have a drink, and you know, it's tough. Some people don't even want to come on. I didn't even want to go on. I was like, you know what? Do I really want to do this? It's depressing, and everybody's going to be talking about it. But when we do it, it's actually uplifting. We need to be out and we need to socialize somehow. At least this gives us a way of doing it. So I hope everyone enjoys watching Pete's videos. I know a few friends of mine have reached out and said, hey, I'm watching your boy Pete. You know, there's nothing else to do. We're watching YouTube. I know a lot of other YouTube bloggers that, you know, that travel around and go to tourist things, and they're like, what do we do now? We can't go anywhere. We're on lockdown, you know.
Yeah.
At least the music is going to keep us going through this.
It's exactly what it's going to do, right? So we have to.
Music
Everybody's got to believe that. So very
and
cool.
superheroes. I guess the superheroes now are in Orange Regional or in the hospitals right now.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
cool. Well, Steve, thanks for joining again, and hopefully see you real soon,
So
maybe next week. Thanks
next
everybody for
week,
joining.
I plan on doing this as much as you want right now.
Sounds good.
It gives me something to do other than thinking about money and whatever else. So you give me homework. Now this week I'm going to study Halloween, man.
There you go. A little Halloween
And maybe
action for
you'll give
next
me
weekend.
some other things to study too. Maybe we can work on catatonia if we want to do something like that.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll leave it up to the viewers. You want to see some Catatonia? Top 10 songs or best to rank in the albums? We can do both. So
You've never done
Steve,
either one of those yet, right?
I have not. So we can definitely do that. So sounds good. So
All
Steve,
right.
we'll see you in about a week. Everybody
Rock
visit us on the
on.
web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're on YouTube all the damn time. We'll see you real soon with some more stuff. So don't touch that dial. Make sure you subscribe.
Elbow.
That's right.
Fonzie thumbs up. I'd say
There
the
you go.
Fonzie thumbs up or the peace sign. Stay 6
There you
feet
go.
back. That elbow's way too close. The elbow's wiped out now.
No, I can't do
That
the elbow
elbow's
anymore.
within 6 feet. It's like, yo, what's up, man? Do the Fonzie.
That's right.
All right, guys.
Take care, everybody. Steve, thanks again. Bye-bye.